In the headlines, presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Tinubu, woos Kaduna voters, promise to eliminate kidnappers. Security operatives rescue 5 kidnapped victims in Katsina. Reps give NNPC others 1 week to end fuel scarcity. And on the foreign scene, Amnesty condemns Spain, Morocco over Melilla border tragedy. Hello and welcome to Trust News Updates. I'm Dashan Husseina Usman. And we begin with politics, where the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Tinubu, has pledged to address security and economic challenges bedeviling the North if elected president come 2023. Tinubu made the pledge during a presidential rally in Kaduna on Tuesday. Bello Musa completes the story.
Addressing the party supporters at the Kaduna rally, the APC presidential candidate Bola Tinubu said, addressing the challenges of the North will enable the region witness development in all spheres.
You will never regret it. Inshallah, all those troublemakers, violent kidnappers, killers, all troublemakers, I assure you, we will eliminate them.
Earlier, the chairman of the party, Abdullah Adamu, and the director general of the APC presidential campaign and governor of Plateau State, Simon Lalong, urged people of the Northwest and the North in general to vote APC for economic prosperity of the region. For prosperity, development, and security of the North, I urge all of you to vote for APC and Aswaju in 2023 election for the continuation of the good work started by President Muhammad Buhari. The national chairman of the party, Abdullah Adamu, handed over flags to presidential candidate of the party, Bola Tinubu, Kaduna APC governorship candidate Obasani, and other candidate of the state and national assembly. Security agencies and vigilante groups were deployed in and around the venue of the rally to ensure the safety of the crowd. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
Governor Umar Zulum has said humanitarian support is still needed for resettled communities and IDPs taking refuge in neighboring counties. The Borno State Governor stated this during the flag-off of his governorship re-election campaign in Maiduguri. Governor Zulum, while highlighting 3 years of developmental projects and intervention in the state, said he will make security his top priority if re-elected into office. He commended the president and security agencies for restoring and maintaining peace in Borno State. He called on party supporters to vote for APC, but bearing in mind to play according to rules and shun enmity.
1 week ago, compared the reason to travel to Boso in the Niger Republic to meet our fellow citizens taking refuge in camps. That visit was another reminder about the rallies, about the realities of our people are dealing with. Despite our resettlement effort, thousands of our fellow citizens are still in need of food, clothes, shelter, and means of livelihood. Despite our establishment of leather schools and rehabilitation of others, millions of our school-age children are still out of school. Despite our work on 200 healthcare centers, many citizens, amongst them women, children, and aged persons, are still without healthcare. Yet a huge majority of our people live in abject poverty and without employment. Your Excellencies, fellow stakeholders, party members, and supporters, these challenges are enumerated and more, and the main reason why I, alongside my capable Deputy Usman Kadabur, are seeking election for another 4 years. In terms of infrastructure,
The federal government has taken a swipe on former Vice President Atiku Abubakar over his criticisms of President Muhammadu Buhari's regime's handling of Boko Haram insurgency. Abubakar, the presidential candidate of the opposition PDP, had in a town hall last weekend expressed dismay over the festering activities of the northeast-based terrorists since their breakout in 2009. Abubakar was quoted as saying that he could not understand the Boko Haram phenomenon and wondered why Boko Haram continued to operate. The report.
In a reaction on Tuesday, the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, said the former vice president should throw the question to his party, PDP, under whose watch the Boko Haram insurgency started in 2009 and festered. The minister gave the response at a briefing in Abuja.
For 6 years, until 2015, when our administration assumed office and inherited Boko Haram, the PDP more or less nurtured the insurgents to the monster they later became. Alhaji Atiku should ask his party why it allowed Boko Haram to operate freely, bombing cities, motor parks, schools, and other soft targets unrestrained. Alhaji Atiku, who was then residing in Abuja before porting to his new abode in Dubai, should ask his party, the PDP, why it allowed Boko Haram to bomb the police headquarters, the UN complex, a shopping mall, and motor parks in Abuja with such ease.
At the briefing, where the Minister of Power, Aliyu Abubakar, who gave the scorecard of the ministry in the past 7 years.
We have executed the most successful metering program post-privatization with 1 million meters rolled out in the first phase of the National Mass Metering Program. The Central Bank of Nigeria and the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NARC, were fundamental in designing and implementing this program. We are perfecting plans for an additional 6 million meters under the second and third phases of the program that will commence in the first quarter and second quarters of 2023, respectively.
The Minister of Power also said the ministry under President Muhammadu Buhari has changed the narrative in the power sector from consumption spending to a real infrastructure spending.
A total of 105 power transformer projects were completed during the period 2015 to now, adding a capacity of 6,216 MVA to the grid, with 73 of the power transformers installed by TCN engineers in substations across the nation.
The briefing was launched in October to showcase and document achievements of the Buhari administration. Martia Umar, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Moving on to security, police and vigilante operatives in Katsina State have rescued 5 kidnapped victims unhurt in Kurfi local government area of the state. The victims were abducted by suspected terrorists at Ungwar Runji village of Kurfi local government area on Sunday. Abdullahi Ahmadi has details of the report.
Amidst heightened bandits activities in Katsina State, the divisional police officer in Kurfi, Chief Superintendent of Police Mansur Tsani, said the victims were rescued following distress calls they received from residents of Ungwar Runji village. The police operatives working with the Vigilante Corps blocked all exit routes to and from the area, which led to the successful rescue operation. While handing over the rescued victims to Kurfi Local Government Council administration to reunite them with their families, the DPO Mansur Tsani said the victims were rescued after a fierce gun duel with the terrorists. They however said some of the terrorists have been neutralized and the police operatives are combing the area with a view to discovering their corpses. While taking over the victims, the Kurfi Local Government Chairman Manir Shehu commended police operatives for their commitments to restoring peace in the state. I have been directed by the chairman Kurifi local government to thank the DPO Mansur Sadat Ani for his hard work and commitment to serving people of the area diligently. The fearless police officer has distinguished himself among his contemporaries. We were rescued by the police and we have to thank them for their quick response, which led to regaining our freedom. We also thank God for that. The rescued victims narrate how they were harassed, beaten and intimidated by the bandits when they were abducted. The terrorists came to our village at night and woke me up, saying I should either give them money or risk being killed. I told them I don't have money because I was having only 20,000 naira on me. On hearing that, they descended on me, beating me mercilessly with sticks and later took me to the bush. Residents called on government and security operatives to intensify efforts in restoring peace to enable displaced people return to their ancestral homes immediately. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Post Television News, Katsina.
Several terrorists have been killed by Nigerian Air Force's raids in Birnin-Gwari, Igabi and Chikun local government area of Kaduna State. The state's commissioner, Ministry of Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Aruwan, said details of the operation were communicated to the state government by security agencies. Aruwan said the Nigerian Air Force, in continuation of aerial patrols across Kaduna State, reported that several bandits were killed and camps destroyed in the latest rounds of operation. He said the latest aerial patrols identified and attacked an active location in Kasarami General Area in Chikun local government. The commissioner said the latest round of operations by the security forces targeted and destroyed the residence of a notorious leader of a terrorist gang, Al-Haji Lawang. More camps were also targeted and destroyed at Kuduru and Gonam Baturia. Terrorists were also killed about 4 kilometers west of Nabango. The frequency of fire outbreaks during Harmattan season, though a mystery, can be prevented against occurring to avoid loss of lives and property. In this report, Noel Sampson speaks to a victim of fire incident and seeks advice of the Federal Fire Service on preventive measures. The report.
Recently, a fire outbreak at a furniture factory in Gwarinpa, Abuja, consumed fortunes in one fell swoop. The owner of the factory lamented the extent of the destruction the fire outbreak has caused to a business, losing over 200 million worth of goods, though no life was lost to the fire.
I was asking my security what happened. He told me the fire just started from somewhere and it was not much, so he wanted to get fire extinguisher and quench it. Then one of the staff, Muhammadu, he now went out, brought shovel and just put sand on the small fire that was burning. So that was how the fire now flared up and everything caught fire. And it was the same security, Merit, that now dropped the extinguisher because he couldn't control it with our extinguisher. He now went and quickly off the generator because they were working with the generator. There was no light then.
However, the Federal Fire Service has tips on how to mitigate incidences of fire outbreaks during the Harmattan season. Spokesman of the service said utilizing preventive measures will go a long way to secure not only valuable but also precious lives of Nigerians.
He emphasized prevention over firefighting. In his own exact words, fire prevention is cheaper, it's easier, and it's safer than firefighting, because of the enormous resources that you put out. And so the emphasis for me, if you talk about Harmattan season and the festivity, because we're in December, end of year, January, New Year festivity and all of that, areas that we must look out for. Number one, uncontrolled bush burning. It's a very, very dangerous thing to do at this time because, like I said, there's a lot of fuel around, so you can easily ignite. We must also put off appliances that are not in use because of the heat, the excessive heat, especially when from our data repository center, more than 80% of the fire incident we have in this part of the globe is electric fire. So illegal connection, tapping of wires, and then substandard wiring materials.
Prevention, they say, is better than cure. If all these preventive measures are adhered to and utilized, loss of lives and properties to fire incidents could be avoided or mitigated. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The federal government has approved that Nigerians returning home can be admitted into the country with their expired Nigerian passports. This is contained in a letter from the Comptroller General of Immigration Service, Isa Jere Idris, addressed to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyema. The statement requested all airlines to allow holders of expired Nigerian passports to board without let or hindrance. The CGIS had recently directed the immediate setting up of diaspora desks in all international airports in order to have a seamless passport processing for all Nigerians coming home this Yuletide and who may be desirous of processing their passports. A statement by the Public Relations Officer of the Nigerian Immigration Service, Anthony Akuneme, added that the CGIS had directed passport offices across the country to give priority attention to such citizens living outside the country and their families, bearing in mind that most of them have a specific time of returning to their countries of residence. The fast-track passport process for this Yuletide commenced a few weeks ago with the opening of passport offices on Saturday and will last until 31st of January 2023. You're watching Trust News Updates. Coming up after the break. How sweet potato replaces Irish in Kano. Do stay with us.
Now, as part of efforts to support Africa's goal of strengthening...
Now, looking at the activity chart, as you can see right here, a total volume of 130...
Created a Boko Haram crisis that at that time was restricted to Yobe.
How secured are they? You can see security men with blood.
This is the road leading up to the...
Already, if you look at England's squad, you are looking at EPL, you are looking at their names. You are not looking at...
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Here's a recap of our top stories. We told you that presidential candidate of the APC, Bola Tinubu, woos Kaduna voters, promised to eliminate kidnappers. We also told you that security operatives rescue 5 kidnapped victims in Katsina. Moving to other stories, the Senate has postponed its proposed debate on the cash withdrawal policy by the Central Bank of Nigeria until Wednesday, December 14. This is because of the absence of chairman of the Committee on Banking and Finance, Senator Uba Sani. A member of the committee, Senator Olubunmi Adetumbi, in a point of order, told his colleagues that the report which was to be presented at Tuesday's plenary had to be withheld because Sani is away. Adetumbi assured the Senate that the report of the Committee on the CBN withdrawal policy is ready, noting that the committee's chairman had to attend the APC zonal rally in his capacity as governorship candidate of Kaduna State. Responding, Senate President Ahmed Lawang appealed to lawmakers to be patient as the findings of the committee will be unveiled within 24 hours. As high cost of living continues to take a toll into people's earnings, residents of Kano State who cannot afford Irish potatoes find an alternative in sweet potatoes. In this report, Trust TV correspondent Idris Jibrin reports that Irish potato has jumped to as high as 130,000 naira compared to 11,000 naira for sweet potatoes. His report.
This is called Yankaba Market in Kano, from where Irish potato arrives by the truckloads. But not anymore, as traders say its price has gone as high as 130,000 naira per bag, the worst in over 30 years. Honestly, the business of Irish potato is not going well these days, both between the buyers and the sellers. Everything is terrible. But people are talking about because of the high cost of diesel that we use in transporting the Irish from different parts of the country, that contributed to make it even worse. And then it's not its season. I can tell you that as of last week, we sold one bag of Irish potato at the cost of 110,000 naira. But today, as I'm talking to you, we are selling one bag at the cost of 130,000 naira. But with the high cost of Irish potato, the Dakata sweet potato market is now booming, as the products arrives here by the truckloads on daily basis. The price here is cheaper, and traders say it's affordable. You know, the price of sweet potato is seasonal. Before now, we used to sell it at 7,000, 6,000, and even 8,000. But nowadays, we are selling it at about between 8,000, 9,000, 11,000, up to 12,000, depending on how it comes from the farm. Sweet potato is sold at between 10 to 11,000 naira per bag, compared to about 7,000 naira before now. And it can go in quantity as low as 100 naira, depending on what the buyers want. Potato that you are seeing, I have that of 300 naira, 200 naira, 100 naira. But that of 100 naira has been sold. They have already bought it out. Although sweet potato is cheaper, but with the Irish potato becoming more and more scarce and highly expensive, there are growing concerns that the price of sweet potato could equally go high in the next coming days. Idris Jibrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
House of Representatives has ordered the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited and other regulatory agencies to end the lingering fuel scarcity within 1 week to ease the sufferings of Nigerians. The order followed the adoption of motion of urgent public importance by Saidu Musa Abdullahi at plenary on Tuesday. Presenting the motion, Abdullahi said in the last few months, Nigerians had been subjected to untold hardship caused by the lingering petrol scarcity that has affected economic activities and made the already trying times in the country more difficult. He lamented that while the fuel scarcity is hitting petroleum stations of some major marketers that are currently selling fuel on government-regulated price, some independent marketers have enough petroleum products and are selling at unregulated prices. It further called on the Nigerian Midstream Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission to collaborate with the Nigerian Police Force and the DSS to ensure that fuel is sold at the regulated price and in all retail outlets. The House mandates its committees on petroleum resources, downstream, and legislative compliance to ensure compliance. And away from that to crime, 3 exotic Toyota cars with official number plates of the Federal Inland Revenue Service suspected to have been smuggled have been impounded by customs at Babana border in Niger Kogi Area Command. The Customs Area Controller, Niger Kogi Area Command, Bo Kadeja, who displayed the seizures at the Customs House, Mina, said investigation had already been launched to establish if the cars were smuggled with the aid of FIRS official number plates or by the agency itself. He said 15 vehicles valued at over 141 million were seized in November 2022. Kadejo said other items seized were 229 cartons of pharmaceuticals containing 9,160 anti-malarial drugs suspected to be fake and manufactured in Indonesia. Others were 657 cartons of canned sardine fish, 305 cartons of imported gyro soap, 12 bales of second-hand clothes, 69 cartons with 30 pieces each of machetes, 3 sacks of jackknives containing 600 pieces, and 1 sack containing 590 pieces, respectively. Kadejo said the duty-paid value of the items seized, including vehicles, were at 165,979,500 naira, adding that the command generated the sum of 22,670,000 naira and 706 naira as revenue from demand notices issued for short payment in November this year. All right, moving on to the foreign stories. On the international scene, Amnesty International on Tuesday said failure by Morocco and Spain to properly investigate the deaths of more than 20 migrants at the border of the Spanish enclave city of Melilla in northwest Africa in June smacks of cover-up and racism. The rights organization said in a report presented in Madrid that there is a growing mountain of evidence of multiple human rights violations, including the unlawful death of ill treatment of refugees and migrants. The deaths occurred when some 2,000 migrants stormed the Melilla border fence from the Moroccan side on June 24. At least 23 died, although rights groups say the number was higher. And with that, we've come to the end of Trust News Update. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Darshan Hussaina Usman. Thanks for watching.